What is going on, everybody?
Yeah.
I watched the season 4 finale of Sesame Street, so we can chat about it here today. I did learn that I like cookies and Cookie Monster and living in a garbage can because I can sometimes be a grouch. Actually, I'm never a grouch. But John, Justin, how are you doing today?
But John is. I thought this was doing well.
I'm doing good. Excited to talk about the Cookie Monster, which is this episode of Matlock.
Me too. It's it's the end of a great season.
It is
for the most part, and I can't wait to dive right into the episode. But what's everybody been up to? I watched a couple Oscar movies this weekend. I think Poor Things might be my favorite of the three I watched. Started off as one of those movies where I was like, and then as the movie progresses, I'm getting more and more into like the quirkiness of it. I think Emma Stone is fantastic in it, and William Dafoe is just a scary looking dude. Like, he didn't even need that makeup, and he would have been a scary looking dude. But I like the Frankenstein aspect of it. I liked where they took the Frankenstein aspect and kind of twisted it. It was a really good movie. And then I also watched American Fiction, which is great, and The Holdovers, which was also really, really good.
Well, for me, I've seen a couple of the Oscar films. I've seen Barbie and Oppenheimer. I also ventured out to see The Zone of Interest. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse got a couple nods, right? For technical things.
Yeah, I think
animated feature, but it lost to Kurosawa, which I expected.
Yeah. So those are the ones that I saw that were nominated for Oscars. Justin, what about you?
I've not really. I mean, I've watched the Spider-Man stuff too, but my main stuff the past week has been all Dune related. I've watched Dune 2, Part 2, like twice now.
Wow.
I've delved deep into the spice.
Well, I don't know. Are there going to be any spice in any of these cookies or pies that we're going to discuss here in a few moments?
Maybe.
We're gonna find out.
I mean, you add hazelnut, and apparently, like, to some people, that could be spice.
That's right. Hey, real quickly though, folks, we want you to take a few moments of your time to throw it out there, either here in the comments during this live broadcast or just anywhere on the Facebook page. Let us know what your favorite episode was from season 4, as this is it. This is the end of season 4, and we'll be moving on to season 5 in a couple of weeks. So let us know what you think in regards to what your favorite episode was of season 4. And Jason, they can not only get in touch with us on the Facebook page at Mattalk Podcast, but they can also email us those choices.
You can slide into my DMs too. I love getting stuff at all hours of the night. It's fantastic. Feel free to message me. But yeah, it's BENMATTALK at gmail.com. That has been Mattalk, not Matlock. So BENMATTALK at gmail.com.
Can you have some of those DMs ready to go for the end of the show?
I can try.
Okay.
Try.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Just like your internet's trying to die.
Yeah. That's
it's
not
okay right now.
No, it wasn't, sir. It was a little bit glitchy.
You're frozen right now.
I'm just going to stress me out. So I got a message from Robert. It said, I haven't been to any of the house.
Sorry, Robert. I'm sure it was a great message.
Yeah. Dude, you're glitching big time.
Okay, well, you guys carry the show for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. We got it. Technical problems. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you go live, right? Right, Justin? I mean,
that's right. Every time.
Anything can go bonkers. He's going to switch to his tablet, I have a feeling. And so hopefully that'll have a better connection, if you will. So as for me, we like to talk about what we've been watching in terms of movies, obviously, as well as television. Have you been watching any good television shows, Justin?
Television shows. I've been watching the Formula One stuff on Netflix. I'm not much of a racing guy, but I've really enjoyed I watched season 1 of, I think it's called F1 on Netflix, and it's just all following F1 racers. Like, this one was an Australian guy. I've watched like 4 episodes, and I didn't catch his name, but I don't remember his name. They say it a lot, but But no, that was pretty cool. It's cool to see the different, like that aspect of it, the human side of racing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I finished Gen V, which is
did you like it?
boys
I
spin-off.
like Gen V.
I liked it. It took me a while to really get connected to the characters because I'm just used to Butcher and MM and
Sure.
Trenchy and
Sure.
the boys group. But I liked it. I'm curious to see where it goes because it ended in a cliffhanger, did it not?
Oh, it did. Heavy.
And I'm
Heavy.
like, I'm curious to see where they take it. And then I've been watching. And the reason why I started watching it was because they had an interesting topic. Vice has a docu-series called Sex Before the Internet. And they had an episode on Showgirls. And so,
man,
I watched it because
what a bad movie. Sorry, I don't.
Oh,
that was
no.
so bad.
No, like my girlfriend was like, she wanted to watch it. She said, let's watch that. I'm like, are you sure? She goes, well, how bad was this movie? I'm like, it was bad. She goes,
Oh, it was bad.
John, there was boobs in there. I'm like, yeah, the amount of boobs
could not save that movie.
No,
could not save
no,
that movie.
It was terrible. It was bad. And they talk a lot about it. It was very interesting, about how they talked about that. Even the cast, like midway through the shooting of the film, was like, what are we doing? Like,
right.
There's just random things being thrown into these rewrites that are just make no sense whatsoever. And, and what I didn't know was that Paul Verhoeven and the guy that wrote it, I don't remember his name.
Sure.
They wrote Basic Instinct, and that's what got them a deal with MGM to make whatever they wanted, because they did Basic Instinct. Paul Verhoeven also did RoboCop. And I think afterwards he did Starship Troopers. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah. Starship Troopers,
yeah. So, we have any comments or anything, Justin, real quick? Anybody chiming in?
No. They're waiting for Jason to get back, I'm sure.
They're waiting for Jason to get back. Jason, are you ready?
I think so. My speed say it's downloads 500 speed and uploads 500 speed, so hopefully.
Okay. All right, well then, shall we go ahead and get on into our opening statement?
Well, hold on. Let me finish reading this message. It says,
you will restart. I forgot that you were reading it. Wait a minute. You got to restart because I don't think we got any of it.
Okay, it says, hi, Jason. Have you and John been to any of the Matlock?
We're never going to hear this message.
I've been to the season 9 house. Take care. What's that?
Okay.
I was joking. You were breaking up again. I said we're never going to hear this message. It was a very nice message.
Try it again. Read it again.
One more time.
I just go
one more time. Third time's a charm.
Just try.
No, just go.
What?
No. We want to hear the message. Damn it. We want to hear the message.
It's all right. We gavel banged and everything.
Just go. We'll try at the end. I don't want to spend the whole episode focused on technical issues.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right.
Gavel bang.
All right. The episode is entitled The Cookie Monster, and the original air date for this program was May 8th, 1990. We have 4 guest stars that we need to talk about. The first 2, heavy hitters. They were early in their career, but they would go on to have some massive roles. Let's start off with Raymond Cruz, who is playing, and this is the title. I'm not calling him this, Alien Worker.
Fair.
That's what it said in the show notes, folks. Anyways, you may know Raymond Cruz as Tuco Salamanca in Breaking Bad.
That was Tuco? I didn't recognize him. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, Tuco. He was also played Ramirez in Under Siege, which after you watch the first 15 minutes of that show or that movie, you pretty much don't need to watch the rest of it. But anyway.
You were Under Siege.
He was also Chavez in Clear and Present Danger. Julio Sanchez on Major Crimes and The Closer. Alejandro Perez and Mattalk, and like he's got 80 plus other credits to his name, but the mere fact Tuco Salamanca was
so good
on this episode is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was really good on Breaking Bad. He was also in Murder, She Wrote. Yeah, Murder, She Wrote.
Nice.
Yep. Real quickly, can we talk for just take a sidestep for a minute?
Nope.
Have you ever watched that stupid lawman Steven Seagal reality show?
I take offense that you call it stupid. Steven Seagal is a national treasure.
No, he's not. He's an awful person. But I did. There's one part of that show that I've seen that I thought was pretty cool. How when he was shooting the gun, he was able to put another bullet right through the same bullet hole. I thought that aiming was pretty cool. But no, I have not actually seen the show.
I've watched a couple of episodes because it's on one of those over-the-air channels, and I've stumbled across it.
Of course you have.
It's an amazingly awful show. That's all I'll say. And now somebody that's not been on some awful shows is our next guest star, and that is the gentleman by the name of Mark Moses, who will play the role of Donald Ware. Now, you probably know Mark Moses for his role as Lieutenant Wolf in Platoon. Duck Phillips on Mad Men, Dennis Boyd, on Homeland, Paul Young on Desperate Housewives, Harry on So Help Me Todd, Bill Shine in Bombshell, Mitchner in The Last Ship, and he's got like over 100 more credits to his name.
He's crushing it. It's awesome.
I didn't realize that was him in So Help Me Todd. I love So Help Me Todd. It reminds me a lot of Psych. But yeah, I watched Desperate Housewives.
Yep, he was Paul Young.
Yep, and he was also in Murder, She Wrote and Perry Mason. Wait, is that right? Hold on. Let me confirm there's a Murder, She Wrote. Nope, just Perry Mason. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's talk about our third guest star. There's a gentleman by the name of John Hancock. No, not the guy that signed the Declaration of Independence. This is a totally different dude.
His cousin.
His distant cousin, yes. He'll be playing the role of Bobby Neal. You may also know him as Mess Hall Sergeant in Tank. I got to just throw this out there. As a kid, I watched Tank because it was one of those videos at the video store that I had to see, which it's really not it was cool when I was a kid, but when you go back and look at it, James Gardner accused of doing something that he didn't do, some crime that he didn't do, corrupt sheriff, and he happened to have a tank. James Gardner has a tank. That's all you need. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Poor guy passed away
like
2 years after this episode, too. Rest in peace.
Huh?
Guy passed away 2 years after this episode.
Oh, really? Well, I was going to say he also played Controller Number 1 in Airplane 2, Deputy Commissioner Hank Bishop on Pacific Station, Judge Armand on LA Law, and
that's a different movie. That's a different TV show.
Anyways, on Cop Rock, and he was also Gus Thompson on Family Ties, and he too has about 70 different credits to his name as well.
Awesome.
All right, and our last guest star is Marianne Plunkett. She will play the role of Maggie Shore. You may also know her as Madeline Byer in Dr. Death, Joanne Rogers in the movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Mrs. Kirk in Little Women, Evelyn on House of Cards, and she played Glenda in Blue Valentine. Can I just go ahead and share a personal story, if I may, about Blue Valentine?
That you love that movie in Ryan Gosling?
It was the only movie that I've ever had a private showing to. Like, I went to go see it at like 5:30. No one showed up, and it's a good thing because no one showed up but me. It is a good thing because by the end of that movie, I was crying like a small child. Yeah, that movie was devastating. Love it because it's so devastating, but it's a hard watch. Very hard watch, especially the end.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, mainly because I've heard it's such a hard watch.
It is. That last scene is like, that's what broke me. I'm like, ah! I tried to hold in the tears and I just couldn't.
She was
Because it's such a
also
hard
in
watch.
Manifest, which I really dug.
What'd you say, Justin?
No, I'm being stupid. I just said it was also a hard watch. I was trying to keep the hard watch thing.
Well,
But it didn't work.
well, hopefully this show was not a hard watch, as I think it's time, gentlemen, to give an opinion, our opinion, and solely our opinion. So help us, it's time to testify!
I look scared.
I'm so scared of Maples, the Canadian version of the death.
All right, the plot for this episode is that Matlock investigates the murder of a cookie queen who wanted to take over all of the competition. All right.
Similar to Dune, the Spice Melange. They want to take over the whole cookie empire.
I'll say yes to that because I have not seen Dune. So
Any of them?
any of them, I've not seen any of them.
Well, don't go back if you can help it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, John. Dune's okay. Like, it's not the next coming of Christ or anything, but it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's not.
That's setting the bar high. If you're the coming of Christ, I mean.
Well, I
Don't
thought
listen to
it was so hyped when I just watched Dune 1 and 2 in the same day, like recently. So I was a little disappointed, but I still really liked it. Like, it was so hyped. It's really hard to live up to those expectations. I just want to bring them down for you, so when you watch it, you'll enjoy it more.
Okay, you got it. All right.
If you like sci-fi a lot, you'll like Dune.
Yeah, it's good. It's slower though than most
Okay.
sci-fi.
Well, like I said, I've never seen the David Lynch version or the this version with
watching that
Timothy Chalamet. Huh?
I'm watching that next. It's good. I preferred Dune Part 2 over 1, which I think I'm in the minority of. But I love the correlations or like religion and stuff, and so good. But we're not talking about Dune right now. Anyway,
That's right. We're talking about the Cookie Monster.
Sorry.
Cookie.
Come on, sugar.
Guys, all weekend, John has brought up Sesame Street to me, and I thought maybe there'd be a cameo of the Cookie Monster in this episode or some kind of a Muppet. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, I try my best to try to dupe you into believing that.
I mean, there's kind of Muppets, because as I was watching Matlock on the big TV, I had the computer playing on the side, which was running a rerun of Three Geeks. And in the Three Geeks, somebody had pitched a Muppet remake of Dune. So Muppets kept flashing on the screen as I was watching Matlock. So in a way, the Cookie Monster made an appearance.
Okay, in a roundabout way. Well, let's get into the opening scene, which is a bunch of ingredients on a table and people are making cookies. We cut to a scene of the cityscape and a limo pulls up to Miss Katie's cookies. Who takes a limo to work?
I wish I could.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. If I could. You're telling me that if you could take a limo to work at the factory you work at, you wouldn't?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. But it would be a classy limo. It wouldn't be one of those like Hummer limos or monster truck limos. No, mine would be the classy one.
I would take whatever limo they want to send my way. Monster truck limo would be amazing. It'd be amazing. I'm not driving it, so if the driver does something stupid, it's not on me.
I'm not driving it.
All right. Well, we see Katie with her assistant, and they're running down the schedule, and then she enters a boardroom with her competitors. And basically, Katie is going to take over all of these other opponents, all of these other companies. She's going to hostile take over all of them. And so she says, hey, you can go with it and keep your money and keep your titles, or you can go against it and get 0. Real quickly, I do got to say, hostile takeover is a little more complicated than it is presented here in this episode, because you kind of, if I'm not mistaken, with a hostile takeover, you have to buy the majority of the stock within the company in order to be able to take it over. Am I incorrect in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this doesn't seem like a real hostile takeover, but I digress. There's an emergency in the bakery, and so Katie has to leave the meeting, and when she gets down there, the oven is not working properly. It's burning all the cookies. And the one guy says, hey, the one baker says, hey, we've had this thing fixed several times. Well, fix it again, is what Katie wants. And then we cut to a scene where the TV news reports on Katie's takeover. And the other individuals, they don't want to speak to the media. They plead the fifth. All right. They don't want to talk.
Rough.
You didn't like my Chappelle Show joke?
You did great. You did
Thank
great.
you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. We find out that one of the gentlemen, Bobby Neal, is a pal of Ben. And, I skipped the spot. I skipped the most important part of this scene. Ace Calhoun is there. He's hanging out with Ben at his office. It's been a minute since we've seen Ace Calhoun. Jason, what do you think about his appearance?
Short and sweet, man. Like Don Knotts' spots in this show have gotten better across the seasons for sure. And I did like, he's like, what are you making for me for dinner? And Matlock's like, hot dogs. He's like, what kind of hot dogs? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think hot dogs taste like hot dogs, whether it's beef, chicken, or pork, or whatever they're made out of.
I don't know. I think beef ones taste a little better than pork.
And then Matlock, we'll just go out instead.
What'd you say?
And then Matlock's like, we'll just go out to eat and we get whatever we want.
They're going to Ray Templin.
Hot dogs and then whatever Ace wants.
Do you think when Ben goes to the restaurant, there's no hot dogs on there, he orders from the kids' menu?
I think he took Ace to the courtroom hot dog vendor, if you want my honest opinion. I think that's his idea of a fine dining.
Justin looks perplexed by this.
Yeah, perplexed is a good word.
Well, we get back to the meeting between Bobby and Ben, and Ben says there's really nothing that Bobby can, or there's nothing that Ben can do. All right, I'm sorry, I messed that up because Bobby's not there yet. Sorry, it's still just Ace and Ben, and so he's like, look, it is what it is, And then there's this giant debate about whose cookies are better, Bobby's or Miss Katie's.
We're talking cookies.
That's right. Katie's is nothing but a big ball of grease, says Ben. And they're soft. And Ace is like, well, Bobby's is hard, and they're better. So what a great banter back and forth among friends.
That would felt like it went on for a little longer than it should have. I was like sitting there, I feel like I understand it's a ball of grease, Mr. Matlock.
That is somebody who probably has not seen Don Knotts' appearances on this show yet, and this is actually short and sweet.
Well, it's totally fair. I was gonna be like, I'm so glad Barney made it in one of the episodes I watched.
Well, Katie is on a talk show, and she's getting makeup done. Bobby confronts Katie, and he throws down a bunch of idle threats. And then he scares the bejesus out of Katie when he grabs her and tells her, you can't take my company. And so she gets away from him and then runs and tells security. And what do you know? When they return to the dressing room, Bobby's gone.
Dun, dun, dun.
I did enjoy how the host, in our first of many slightly inappropriate comments on this episode, I like how the host was like, you want to tell us what's in these? No, I can't. Oh, protecting your cookies.
It was. I did enjoy that too.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Well, lo and behold.
There's one in particular that's like, okay. But no, yeah, it's funny.
This is the baseline. It's gonna be taken to the next level in a few minutes. Well, nonetheless, what happens is Katie takes a cookie, she eats the cookie, and then all of a sudden she drops dead. So Bobby is brought in to the police department, or police headquarters, excuse me. And he's like, look, this isn't me. I threatened her. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Blah, blah, blah.
Sure, I threatened her.
But that's all I did. I didn't kill her, blah, blah, blah. And we have Sleepy Ben. Now, Justin, I know you maybe haven't found out that there's a lot of different, like an action figure. There's regular Superman, and then there's Super Superman, and then there's, like all those type of there's many of those for Ben. There's Ben, Angry Ben. There's mischievous adolescent Ben.
Whiny Ben.
There's Whiny Ben.
We get most of those Bens in this episode. Hot Dog Ben.
And we
What
get
about
Sleepy.
Insecure Ben? What's Insecure Ben? Like he was like eating too many cookies and feeling like overweight, and all of a sudden being like very like, is that a thing?
Yeah, we can add him to the lineup, of course. Yeah,
Because it was very surprising to me.
He's multifaceted.
He sure
well, nonetheless, Bob Brooks comes in and he delivers some water to Ben. And Bob Brooks says, look, we're going to take Bobby into custody because we found some of the cookies at his house. And so, oh no. So we then cut to a scene where Katie's assistant is talking with Ben. Michelle shows up with the cause of death, anaphylactic shock, a.k.a. food allergy. Boy, does this not blow Ben's mind, doesn't it? It's a good thing he doesn't live in 2024, where there's a lot of people, it seems, that have food allergy.
Is this why I feel funny when I eat hazelnuts?
Yes, it is. So Michelle schools Ben on food allergies, and Ben is so blown away by this that he says, and I quote, "Put my leg in a tea kettle."
I've never heard that one.
Was that a saying in the day? Back in the day?
I don't know. You know what, gents? We need to bring it back. Okay.
I'd rather my leg not be in a tea kettle, though. I mean, that's a fair. I have a very large leg too. Like, how is that going to impact the tea kettle usage?
I want Jason, the next time his daughter says something that shocks him, he's going to say, well, put my leg in a tea kettle.
I typed that in, and all it is Matlock things. So I don't know if that was a thing other than outside of Matlock.
Should we get that on a T-shirt for the podcast?
Yeah, and actually have somebody's leg in a tea kettle. A white suited leg in a tea kettle.
So the theory right now with Ben and Michelle is that somebody made identical cookies with hazelnuts, since Katie is deathly allergic to hazelnuts. In fact, everybody knows it because at an earlier event, she ate something that had hazelnuts in it, darn near died. There we go. So Ben asked the assistant, where is the recipe for these cookies? The recipe's in the bakery's safe. So we cut to a scene where, what do you know? Conrad Thompson is working there. And within a few moments, we find out that another machine is messed up. And it sloshed dough everywhere. All right. So that's two machines now that have gone down. So let's stop there. Any thoughts? What are you guys thinking about with what we've gone through here, which we're about halfway through the show so far? Thoughts, items. Do we have any comments, by the way, Justin?
Nothing.
No.
Yet.
Quiet group today. Guys, please leave comments in the comment section below and say what's up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly like that.
I'm following the story, man. Following the story.
Okay. All right. Justin, your thoughts so far?
I did like the craziness of this whole thing was just cracking me up. There's the fact that there's like a conglomerate of cookie people. Just how big is this town to have 11 different cookie makers? Just be like, well, she's running me out of town. Like how much shaking a fist and she gets teeth.
It's the ATL, man. It's Atlanta. They're cutthroat down there.
I mean, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
All right, so Ben interviews
the capital of the world.
What, Atlanta?
The cookie capital of the world. Heck yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keebler's from there. Girl Scouts are from there.
Did you? Is that a fact?
Literally
You
two
just
things.
that up?
Like literally just two things. Two random things.
Okay. I was gonna say for a minute, I'm like, wow, he really did. He did a lot of research for this episode.
Mrs. Fields is from there. Pepperidge.
That's
all right, continue, John.
All right. Anyways, Ben interviews Christy, and he loves her rhubarb pie, right? And so Christy gives the backstory to her relationship with Katie. They've been friends forever, since fourth grade. And Christy's alibi is that she was home alone. And this is where we get the most amazing comment from Ben Matlock ever.
Yeah, I called John. So Matlock says, "You give good pie." And I called John immediately because, of course, I did. And I'm like, did Matlock really just say, "I give good pie," or she gives good pie? It just threw me. It threw me because
Yeah, it threw me for a while.
I know what that means in the Urban Dictionary. And it just surprises me that, like, Andy Griffith knew it. But Andy Griffith was down. He was cool.
Is he down bad or just down?
There are many episodes where he gets very giddy whenever something sexual comes up. So I'm surprised that we got a straight face out of him.
Well, I don't know.
All right, Michelle Thomas interviews Maggie, and was it me or did those two seem to have like a previous relationship, like they knew each other somehow because they just seemed very familiar with one another.
Yeah. Maybe he was
that.
Matlock's cookie dealer as a kid.
Maybe a sugar dealer.
That
white powder will get you.
Well, Katie basically not only stole Maggie's man, but also looking to take over her company. And so that's what Michelle tries to pin down from Maggie's point of view. Well, Conrad starts talking while he's at work about the recipe. And he's like, hey, man, anybody get their hands on it? No, because one person knows this ingredient, one person knows that ingredient, this ingredient, that ingredient. You got to put them all together. Anybody that is trying to take that recipe, 20 grand, and they get fired, right? And so Conrad comes up with his idea. What if you just steal the batter and kind of reverse engineer it? What about that? Which that's a pretty good idea. I would have never thought about that.
Some people go to jail for stealing the batter.
I guess so. So we go to later on in the afternoon, and the workers are all clocking out. So Conrad slips the line to go snoop around, and he goes to the personnel department. And while snooping, he's basically punched in the face and kicked in the face by Mystery Man. All right.
I gotta say, man, we didn't bring this up, but we have Conrad and Michelle in this episode, which is like,
that's your hang up.
What an aggressive statement. Just deal with it.
We covered this last episode. You're hung up on this for some reason.
They've been in very few episodes together.
Well, that's awesome.
I like them when they're all together.
I know you do. I know.
I haven't brought up that Keen Holiday isn't in any of these episodes, okay?
That's true. Thank you. Anyways, we go back to a scene at Ben's office where Conrad has got an ice pack on his back, on his head, and he's talking about this theory of his is that maybe somebody could have stole the batter, put hazelnut in it, baked the cookies, put them in the tin, put them on her desk. Murdered her, indeed.
I don't know if I would be constantly eating my own cookies. You know what I mean? Like, I think you get tired of them after a while.
I was going to say, I think that from talking to some people that worked in restaurants that I knew, like in college, they got tired of eating the same stuff. Like, they're like, I want something different. But there's an inside job, according to Conrad, for the machines to be breaking down all the time. But the reason why Conrad was in the personnel office was he's looking for records that would jive with, here's the breakdown of these machines, who was hired right around that time period. And Conrad says he knows who beat him up because he saw his shoes. And so we go, ladies and gentlemen, to the main event of this episode. It is Tuco Salamanca versus Conrad McMasters in what was an epic, over-the-top fight in the bakery storeroom. I thoroughly enjoyed the slow-mo. That was fantastic. Cheesy, but fantastic. And both of them get fired it was
pretty sweet.
It was good. It was very, very, very good. Conrad takes Tuco into the bathroom. I know people are gonna like email like that's not the guy's name. I know, but deal with it, people. Anyways, Conrad threatens to get the police involved to get Tuco to talk, right? Because Tuco thought he was immigration. He's like, no, I'm not, etc., etc. Now, Jason, where you had an issue with the phrase, you give great pie, this one is the one that bothers me the most. We go to a scene where Ben Matlock is in Donald Ware's office. Donald Ware offers him a cookie. Tells him all about how great the cookie is. It's a diet cookie, and it'll, quote, clean your pipes out. I don't want cookies that are going to make me poop. Okay? I feel like, you know.
It's like clean your pipes out.
Yeah, but, yeah. So, I don't know. That just, to me, how do you sell that? You know?
I mean, laxatives are a thing. I mean, there's a certain demographic of people that could use something to clean your pipes out.
Yeah, that's why we go to White Castle, man.
Yeah, true. Touche. So anyways, Donald gives his backstory. You know, he's been a competitor with Katie ever since they started. You know, he'd open a store, you know, then she'd open a store right across the street. He dropped the price. She dropped the price even further, yada, yada, yada. And so he states that he got in touch with Bobby and Maggie on the day or that night of the murder. And Bobby and Maggie he talked to, but he never got in touch with Christy, even though he called her on the car phone, which, again, as we already know, you making 4 phone calls on a car phone, that's easily $137.14. Absolutely.
At least.
Unequivocally.
International call would be a mortgage. Full mortgage, no payment. Full mortgage.
You'd have to refinance your mortgage.
Yeah, you're calling Japan in the 90s. Yeah,
absolutely. So Ben interviews Christy again. And Ben goes over and he starts snooping in these pictures, these frame pictures, right? Like he's looking at these pictures of Katie and Christy and Christy's grandma. And, you know, basically looking at this framed $1 bill. And then again, Ben has some more pie. Loves that pie.
Can't blame him.
Conrad is following a worker from the bakery. And he follows him to a sleazy hotel. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't sleazy. Maybe it was middle of the road. I don't know. At least it was relatively close. I didn't book the hotel because if I had, then Christy and John would
8 miles away. 25
they would be 8 miles away. They would be. They would be in Savannah.
Way longer.
Yeah. Anyways, so basically Ben shows up and they go and they knock on the door. John answers the door, then Christy opens the door even further. And here, what do you know? Walla Walla, Washington. They're getting it on. John's married.
Walla Walla, Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
How about this? Abracadabra. They're getting it on.
Neither one's good. Keep going.
Anyways, so basically, Ben confronts Christy and John, and they basically are like, "Look, we were hooked up together, and you can ask around. You can ask around this crappy hotel. We're always here banging, you know. So, what, Justin?
Nothing.
Okay,
Just words."
So, Michelle and Ben, here you go. Justin, this is just what you called out. The insecurity of Ben. Ben thought, man, I messed up. Those two were schlepping each other. They weren't involved in this murder. I'm just a dumb attorney. And Michelle was like, no, you're fantastic. Look at your hair. You have hair. Look at your figure.
You have hair. You have hair. That's all you need.
That's all he needs. You know, you're wonderful, Ben. You're wonderful. And so the assistant comes in to leave some mail for Katie's attorney. And there's also a set of pictures in that stack of stuff. And so Ben starts looking at it and he notices something in the pictures. There's a clue. So we go to the courtroom.
Case. I paused it to look at the pictures to see if I could figure it out. I couldn't figure it out.
Well, you know what? I have a problem with the pictures. I we'll get to that when we recap. But so the grandmother of Christy won the cookie cook-off in 1967. And so Christy's grandmother's recipe is the same as Katie's. So basically Ben's painting a picture that Katie snuck in and swiped what rightfully was Christy's, because Christy admitted she was too busy having fun and looking for love, and Katie, she was cutthroat. Yeah, she was cutthroat. She would take it. And I just threw this down there for you wrestling fans out there. You'll appreciate the reference. We have a jobber prosecutor, a new prosecutor we've never seen before, but boy, oh boy, he was lousy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he brought out Whiny Ben.
Whiny Ben, indeed. Don't yell at the coach. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Don't yell at the bench.
I'm sorry.
We had a whiny judge, too.
Yeah, he did.
Wine. We need to get the cheese and crackers out.
It goes to motive.
I swear it does. I loved it.
So basically, Christie's motive would be that Katie stole the recipe and made millions of dollars off of it. So this would be a revenge plot for Christy to get back at Katie. And so I wrote down, and we've already discussed it, but Ben's antics are bonkers in the courtroom. So Ben theorizes that Christy's cookies with the hazelnut were swapped before the meeting. All right, so before the meeting. And one of the pieces of evidence is a paperweight that was found on the desk of Katie that had a $50 bill in it. But guess who has a framed dollar bill in her home? That's right.
Bill, y'all.
That's right. Christy. She had the other half taken out of that paperweight and taped back together, and she framed it and put it over on her mantle.
Wait a month. Like, wait until the trial is over, then frame the evidence and put it
up. Yeah, this was so stupid. Like, I wrote down how dumb, and then Ben goes, "You are dumb." And I'm like,
you are dumb.
I mean, so she took the half after she spiked the cookies and set the cookies down on the desk, and then she took that. I was like, why? Why do you need that? Why?
The spite thing, man. You know how these people are. They're so
vindictive. I guess. But I was just like, man, how dumb. Absolutely idiotic. So, and that is the end of the final episode of the 4th season, The Cookie Monster. Justin, do we have any comments?
No, sir. Nothing.
Okay. All right, Jason, Justin.
We got a lot of viewers, but quiet group today.
Yeah, folks, don't be embarrassed. Don't whisper like Ben. Go ahead, drop some comments.
Let us know what you thought of season 4. What's your favorite season out of the first 4? Let us know, please.
Just kind of how weird John's being.
All right, well, if you guys don't have anything else, then let's get into our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where John, Justin, and I will rate this show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means that we absolutely hated it. 5 gavels means we loved it. -400 gavels means me and John are moving to Arkansas, and Justin is becoming our pool boy. John, what do you rank this episode?
Pool boy, Justin? That doesn't have a nice ring to it at all.
I mean, I'm all right. I'm in.
Does Apollo get to come along too?
I couldn't be a pool boy without him.
Okay, there you go. I gave this a 4. I gave it 4 gavels. I thought the acting was really good. I thought the acting was pretty spot on. The fight in the storeroom, come on, that right there, that's gold. I also kind of like that John and Christy's storyline was a little bit of a twist, because you thought, oh, maybe no, they're just having a relationship. They're not really plotting out homicides. The only negative is Christy's stupidity. That's it. No. Justin, what say you?
I mean, I liked it. It was fun. The sugar stuff was kind of cracking me up, so I thought it was a fun episode. Yes, it's good. Always good to see Barney fight.
So, if you had to give it, how many gavels would you give it?
I think two. Two gavels.
Man,
Okay.
tough critic. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's out of 5. Meet me in the middle. 3. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
I thought it was
I
out of
didn't
3.
even think it was out of.
I thought it was out of 3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Old Three Geeks rating system. I give it a 3.5. It's not the strongest episode of the season. There's actually moments in the episode where I drifted off into my phone, which I don't do very often with Matlock. So there's a lot of me rewinding it to catch up on what I missed while I was goofing off with my phone, but still a pretty good episode. Not at all like if I was to show Matlock to somebody for the first time, I don't know that I would pick this episode just because there is a lot of silly moments with Ben. Like we get the unsure Ben, and at the end we get the whiny but Judge, I'm gonna get there, and calling I do like it when he calls the prosecutors an idiot, but it was still a fine episode. The first appearance of Ace Calhoun back in season 3, not my favorite. But every time we've seen Ace since, he's gotten better and better and better. I actually was sad that we only got that one scene with Ace in this episode. But yeah, overall, fun episode of Matlock. Good end to season 4. Could have been better, I think. But overall, I love Andy Griffith as the story consultant because that's the only thing that's changed with season 4 and the other seasons. And this season, the season as a whole has been 4.8 out of 5, I would say. So I'm excited to see what season 5 brings us. And again, hopefully we get more of the trio. I know this season they were kind of discombobulated with Kenny leaving the show and trying to get, Clarence in. And I know that a lot of things, some of the actors were busy and so forth. But hopefully with season 5, we see more of that camaraderie that I really like.
Do you want to hit up those DMs real quick?
I mean, we can try. John, I don't know why you're glutton for punishment, man. Every time I read these things, my internet goes out.
You know what? No, because we owe it to the fans. We owe it to the fans to read the DMs.
All right, so I got a message from Robert. He says, "Hey, Jason, have you and John been to any of the Matlock locations? I've been to the season 7 and 8 house in Southport twice. I'm going back to Wilmington in April to go to the season 9 house. Take care, Rob."
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I said I haven't, but that's awesome. And then he wrote back, "I've been to the courthouse in downtown Wilmington too, but dumb me forgot to take pictures. I will next time."
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Rob. That's awesome, man.
That's one of the many DMs I get from fans. I'll pull the rest for next time. They're just deep into my messages. I gotta find them. But guys, I mean, if you want to reach John and I, you can message us on Facebook. We love hearing from people. I think it's cool that I have fans of Matlock reaching out to me. I don't get a lot of that with Three Geeks. We've gotten emails before, but they're not from very nice people.
I think they call those people haters.
No, we had a guy who loved our show.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, don't even bring him up. Don't sully this episode with that.
Oh man, but no, I'm really liking the back and forth, and the people here that have moved over to Three Geeks and started watching that show because of Mattalk. Thank you guys so much. The ship rises, all tides raise all ships or whatever. It's been fantastic. Sorry.
It's okay. You're doing good. Either way, thank you very much for all the support. It's very much appreciated.
Yes, it is. I was just chuckling because that sounds like something, we've had. What is it? Well, catch my foot in a tea kettle or whatever. And
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So it was an episode full of funny sayings. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been so much fun doing these first 4 seasons. I too am very, very, very looking forward to season 5 and seeing what unfolds in the Matlock universe. So thank you all for checking out this episode and any of the episodes that you've watched or listened to. Thank you so very much. We honestly, we say it all the time, this was a little side project that we didn't think was going to go anywhere. And now it's just absolutely, exploding with, so many people watching, so many people listening, so many people commenting. And thank you. Thank you again.
I was kidding about 3 Geeks. We get positive feedback over there too from a lot of you guys. So again, thank you. You guys can follow me at 3 Geeks J, at 3 Geeks Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow Justin where?
3 Geeks Podcast. You're gonna follow me anywhere else than there. Just Godspeed.
Don't you have 3 Geeks Justin?
I do, but I'll get into it. So yes, there's a 3 Geeks Justin account. If you send me something there, I won't see it for 2 months. But you could send me something.
Well, tag at 3 Geeks Justin and tag me, and I'll let Justin know it's there.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make a promise. If someone messages me, I will make an account. I'll actively log into that account. Right now, it's just like in the ether.
Well, and you can catch me in the PVD cast wherever you find great podcasting platforms or at pvdcast.com. You can follow me on Twitter at PVDMVP. That's my personal Twitter handle that is, functions for both this and PVDcast as its Twitter account. So that's it. Are we ready to get out of here, guys?
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank
like
you.
I said, we love you. Thanks to all the guests we've had during season 4 to come on and be a part of the show. We're looking for more people, guys. If you're a fan of Matlock, again, reach out. Let us know you want to be on the show, and we will try to work you in. Can't wait to talk to you guys. See you in 2 weeks.
All right, goodbye, everybody. And as they say in court, nothing further.